We will begin today's topic, which is very, very interesting, simple and sublime nature of devotional service. How we can serve the Lord, that we will see through the Bhagavad Gita verse, chapter 9:26. So let's do our Mangalacharan prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Dhyananjana Salakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratu Se Namaha Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Mandamater Gatihi Mat Sarvasva Padambojo Radha Madan Mohano Divyada Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Singha Sanosto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prestali Bisevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambi Bansi Tata Sthita Karsana Venu Swanere Gopi Gopinath Sriyestunaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, and we welcome you all. And as I said, this Partha Foundation platform is to give spiritual education, just like our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Our founder Acharya has created this ISKCON society for the benefit of the conditioned soul like us. Actually, you can say that he built a house in which we all can live very, very peacefully. And he gives us the guidance how to go back to Godhead, you know. So, in this science of God, it means that one should know or inquire himself that who he is, or who God is, and what is his relationship with God, because this human form of life is very, very rare. So, we should not be uh, inactive about it. We should think about it, and we have to have always desire to achieve the ultimate goal of life. And what is the ultimate goal of life? That is described also in the scripture. The ultimate goal of life is to attain pure love of God, and eternally serve Him. Because Lord says, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are part and parcel of Lord. So it is also known as like Panchama Purusartha. As most of you know, there are four Purusarthas for the common people described in the Vedic literature. And they are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma, religiosity; Artha, economic development; Kama is material desire; and Moksha is liberation. However, devotees aspire for this Panchama Purusartha, which I mentioned, Premo Pumartho Mahan, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also mentioned this thing in his verse where he says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu वर्गेण या कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेमापुमार्थो महान् श्रीचैतन्यमहाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्रादरो न परः. So what we do to attain our Pancham Purusartha, which is pure love of God. So the scriptures tell us that it can be achieved. There are three subject matters mainly described in the Vedas, which is called Sabandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Sabandha means relationship, Abhideya means the activity, and the Prayojan means the goal of life. Okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned that Veda Shastra kahe Sabandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So the Vedic literature gives information about the living entities and our eternal relationship with Krishna, which is called Sabandha, relationship. And then the living entity's understanding of this relationship and his acting accordingly is known as Abhideya system. And then returning home back to Godhead, that is our Prayojan. Prayojan means our uh, goal of life, right? So in Bhagavad Gita, which is very primary book for our spiritual advancement, it is part of Srimad Mahabharata also. So Lord Krishna explains many processes in Bhagavad Gita. One who have studied that, they may know there is a Karma Yoga, there is a Dhyana Yoga, there is a Jnana Yoga, and there is a Bhakti Yoga. So out of all these, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, most powerful, sublime, and most appropriate, especially in this age of Kali, for our spiritual advancements, right? Also, Lord Krishna explains the various aspects of devotional service in the Bhagavad Gita through many verses. And one such verse that we're going to do today is from chapter 9. Chapter 9 is entitled Most Confidential Knowledge. So there are gradation of knowledge given in Bhagavad Gita. Confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge, and most confidential knowledge of all. All these are incorporated in Bhagavad Gita, but we will take today about this very wonderful verse. And this verse encourages everyone to take the path of devotional service without any racism or anything. And it highlights the simplicity and sublime nature of devotional service, which is the topic of today's class. So, what is this verse 926? I will recite. If you want to recite, just keep it muted, but you can do it by, after me. Patram puspam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahrutam asnami prayatmanah. Very nice verse. I'll recite one more time. Patram puspam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahrutam asnami prayatmanah. See how it is, you see. If one offers patram, leaf, and then flower, pushpa, and then fruit, phal, you know, and then the water, toyam, you know. So if one offers with this, but how? With a devotion. That ingredient is required. If you do not put that ingredient, then there is no offering. Lord will not accept it. So we can say that process is easy and universal, and we can think about it how what cannot be and I mean we can see that who in the world that will not be able to perform this service, who will not have patra, pushpa, phal, water. Anybody can have it. That simple four things, right? So it is easy and can be offered by even a poorest person, because you may say, who will not have water, even simply water. So, and patra, pushpa, phal, it's abundantly available anyway. So actually, if you think devotees in Krishna consciousness movement, they are offering these items as well as so many other items every day, 24/7. Why 24/7? Because the ISKCON movement is worldwide. So, due to the time change, there will be always a glorification of Srila Prabhupada as well as Lord Krishna, Radharani, Lord Krishna's Parikar, his eternal associates. Everything will be there going on, because right now Bhagavatam class is going on here, some places something else is going on, because from morning to evening there are so many processes that Prabhupada has given us, beginning from Mangala Arati at 4:30 in the morning till 9 o'clock in the evening, where there is a Sayanarti. And in between, there are so many processes by which we can get engaged ourselves. And then the brahmachari and those who have time, they go for book distribution, because by distributing books, you can giving the knowledge to the others. So, which is very nice. So, now we will not read the whole purport of the verse, but I will highlight what Srila Prabhupada has said in that purport. So, number one that Prabhupada mentioned in the purport is uh, Krishna is not in need of anything. Still, we offer, right? He's not in need of anything, because why he does not need anything? Because he is Atmaram, just like in in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse in chapter 7 where it says, Atmaramascha munayo niragrantha api urukrame kurvanti haitu kim bhaktim itham bhuto guno harihi. So, this verse says that all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who are take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the part of self realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone regardless of anything. So, this is the thing that he doesn't need anything. Another thing is that he is complete in itself. Like Isupnisad verse is very important there, right? It says Om Purnamadaha Purnavidam Purnat Purnam Udastate Purnasya Purnamalaya Purnameva Vasishate. He is Purna. Purna in a sense that if you take out something, there will not be anything diminishing from that. That is how it is, Purnam. Even Krishna have so many expansions, but there is still his existence is there. His presence is there. It is just like lighting a candle. If you light a candle and with that candle you light so many other candles, but that doesn't mean the original candle has extinguished, like that. So, Lord Krishna's presence is always there, even though he has so many expansions. So, that is how he is Purnam. And he is also proprietor of everything, which he claims also in this chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, the last verse where he says, Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Uh, Surhudam sarva bhutanam gnatvam santim ruchati. He is the beneficiary of all the sacrifices. He is the owner of all these universes, manifestations, and everything. He is the cause of everything. Just like it says in one of the seed verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, chapter 10, verse 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha samanvitaha. So you can say he is the proprietor of everything. So in that sense, actually he doesn't need anything. But then why do we offer him? He offer him just to get his blessing, so that it is the reason he accepts is not the article that we offer, but Lord accepts our bhakti, our devotion. And that is why in this verse that we read, Patra Pusam Phalam Toyam, bhakti is mentioned two times, in the first line also and in the second line also. Because bhakti is very, very important. Because he says in Bhagavad Gita that bhakti is the only means that you can approach me. And that verse is given in chapter 18:55, where it says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanaschasmi tattvataha. So he is the one who can be approached by bhakti. So that way, that is the reason how bhakti is easy and universal. And he also says that Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that one who engages in Krishna's loving service is an intelligent person. Right? Because the impersonalist people will not be able to appreciate this verse. Why? Because they do not believe in the form of the God. If they do not believe in the form of the God, whom they going to offer it? You know. So that is the difference between personalist and impersonalist. I mean to say that Lord does have a form. If we have a form, our original creator, Krishna, why he cannot have a form? He have eyes. He got his senses is not like us. Our senses, ear can only hear, eyes can only see, nose can only smell. That is not the case in Krishna's senses. Krishna's senses are spiritual, and they act like interchangeably. In other words, there is a verse in Brahma Samhita which says, Angani yasya sakalendriya vritti manti पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति आनंद चिन्मय सदुज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहं भजामि. So this is the peculiarity of the Bhagwan senses. Bhagwan senses is interchangeable. He can eat even with his eyes. He can hear with his other limbs of the body also. So it is transcendental. And the another thing in this verse, prayatma word is used, if you notice, which is very, very important. Why? Because it means from one who is in pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means one whose body is pure and his heart is pure. Body, what I mean is, one should be externally clean and one should be internally clean. You know, to clean externally, we take a bath and then go to the altar. We say some pranam mantra, we purify ourselves by achman. So this is the process. So this is like external purifying. But then internal purifying is like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned, Cheto Darapana Marjanam Bhamaha Davagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam. So in that Cheto Darpana Marjanam means our heart is contaminated by so many lifetime. Before this lifetime, we have in so many other lifetime, and our heart is contaminated. That needs to be clean, internally clean. How do you clean the heart? The only way to clean the heart is the Harinam, Sankirtan, the transcendental name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it is the bhakti of the bhakta, okay, that causes Bhagavan to accept our offering. Prayatmana. We have to very careful understanding that thing. It is not the article itself, it is the bhakti of the bhakta, means the devotional service of a devotee. Okay, that is what that becomes the cause for Lord to accept that offering and give us his blessing, right? So the process of offering gives an opportunity to devotee to develop and express his love for Krishna. Basically, by offering, what we are doing is we are offering our love, that yes, Krishna, here is the thing we are. I know you don't want anything, but still we want to give, like that. So we can see from the scripture, we hear that Lord has great liking for Tulsi Maharani. Tulsi, Tulsi lives Vranda Devi. Okay. So, and he is very, very much pleased if we offer Tulsi leaves to him. You know, why? Because we'll see the reason why Tulsi is so dear to Krishna by some uh, other example. But before that, I just wanted to state that there is an interesting incident in the Mahabharata, okay, in this connection, regarding Tulsi leaves, uh, because we say in the verse it's a patram pushpam phalam toyam, so patram, Tulsi leaves is like a patra. So after the Kurukshetra war, what happened? The Yudhishthira became the king of the Hastinapur, right? We all know that. And he performed Aswamedh Yajna. And after performing that sacrifice, Lord Krishna stayed in Hastinapur for some time, to so that they can be with the Pandavas for some time. So Lord Krishna at that time present with Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir have a inquisitiveness. He wants to ask Lord Krishna, and he says that actually he asked on a variety of spiritual subject matter, but then he requested to explain the Lord that what kind of process of devotional service or what kind of flower that Lord will accept, in his service. So then Krishna replied, uh, based on the hierarchy. He mentioned that jasmine and all these things, but then he gave a hierarchy of the flower, that what he likes. So the first one he mentioned is like bluish lotus flower. Bluish lotus flowers, we call it utpalam. And then there is a red lotus flower, which is in Sanskrit we call it padmam. And then the red lotus flower with 100 petal. Then the red petal flower, lotus flower with 1,000 petal. And then there is a white lotus flower also, which is a special name in Sanskrit, which is called pundarik. Then he mentioned about tulsi leaf is the highest one. So therefore Srila Prabhupada introduced the worship of Tulsi Devi in Krishna conscious movement. Every day in the morning after Mangalarti, there is a nursing prayer, and then there is a Tulsi Arti. So, and he suggested that all the householder worshipping Tulsi Devi will make vigorous spiritual advancement in spiritual life. Why? Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Tadiya means which is dear to Krishna. The Sanskrit word for that is Tadiya, means it dear to Krishna. And in Gautamiya Tantra, Haribhakti Vilas also, there is a mention of one verse which is very nice regarding to Tulsi. It says, Tulsi dalamatrena jalasya chulukena va vikrinete swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. The Supreme Lord, who is very affectionate towards his devotee, sell himself to a devotee who offers him merely a tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. We see in one example in Chaitanya regarding Suklambar Brahmachari. He was offering even dry rice, only dry rice, without anything. But still he was accepting because he was offering with love and devotion. So now there are some interesting pastime regarding the tulsi leaves, which will emphasize how and why tulsi is very dear to Lord Krishna. So one of them, uh, not only tulsi, but any offering that we make of that, tulsi is very important. So if you know the instance like why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has uh, incarnated here in this Kali Yuga 500 years ago, so because of the Advaita Acharya, he has a nursing saligram sila, and he was worshipping that nursing saligram sila with tulsi leaves and the Ganges water. And by that, with his ardent request, Lord Krishna himself came as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to fulfill his mission, and his mission is described by Rupa Goswami, where he says, Anarpita charim chirat karunaya avatirna kalo samarapayitumunata ujjvala rasam swabhakti sriyam हरि पूरत सुंदर द्युति कदम्ब संदीपितः सदा हृदय कंदरे स्फुरतो वो सच्चिनंदन. So this is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came here anarpita, not given before. Charim chirat, for a long time, which is not given before. Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalo. By compassion, he incarnated. Why? To give. You know what to give? So he says, karunayavatirna kalo swabhakti. He wanted to give because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assumed the form of Radharani because Radharani is the best devotee of Krishna. So he want to give that demonstration to us that how Radharani worship Krishna. So for a practical purpose, he incarnated in a form and a mood and a color of Radharani, okay, but Krishna himself. And then he showed us the practical example how one can surrender to Lord Krishna, you know. So, and that is because of Advaita Acharya, who is one of our predecessor Acharya, has worshipped with tulsi leaves, his Saligram Shila, you know. The another interesting point about is that one time Narad Muni came to Dwarka, and by that time Lord Krishna has married 16,108 queens, the eighth queen being principal, Rukmani, Jamvati, Satyabhama, Kalindi, Satya, Mitravanda, Bhadra, and Lakshmana. Those are the eight main queens. But Satyabhama and Rukmani was there when Narad went there, and Narad said to both these queens that if you want to express your devotion, your love for Krishna, then you have to give me charity. Charity of what? Charity equal to the Lord's weight. So you may have heard about this pastime also. So equal to, so that means they understood the wealth, that they have, the ornaments and all these things. So they have a big scale. So one side Krishna seated, on the other side they started putting, Satyabhama started putting all the ornaments that he had. He emptied all his treasury, what everything, but still, it will not come down, So that means then she was, so, I have given so much in charity to Narad, still, it is not equaling Krishna's weights. What is happening, But then when Rukmani's turn came, what she did, she took only one leaf of tulsi leaves and put it. And that made that side heavy, and Krishna came up. So that is how important tulsi leaves is. We can see from the interesting pastime of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. So many of them, but this is something like this to give you a glimpse of it. So by this pastime, the Lord is conveying the simple and sublime nature of devotional service and how one can attain the abode of Lord Krishna, the kingdom of spiritual world, So then sometimes, one may think, how come the Supreme Lord, who is creator of the world and who is all pervading, and he can be just satisfied by the patram pushpam phalam toyam. What is this thing? Some people may question that thing, but the Lord demonstrated in many of his pastime that he will factually accept this thing. And there are few pastimes regarding this thing. Simple offering, and he blessed the devotee with spiritual destination. So he enacted such pastimes so that it will give us a faith in what it is said in the Shastra. So this, from past time we can learn and we can develop faith towards Krishna, that whatever he said, whatever it is in Bhagavad Gita, whatever in Bhagavatam, we start developing faith. So though, like I mentioned, he does not need any offering from us, but he treats this offering as an excuse to bless us. You see, this is very important. He doesn't need it, but it becomes excuses for us, for him to bless us with spiritual advancement. So let us, in each category, we very briefly describe some of the pastime which are very interesting. I will not go in too much detail, but try to give brief description on it. So let's take the example of Patram, right? So if you know the Mahabharata, very famous incident about Draupadi attain Lord's mercy. How? When they were incognito, you remember, then one time what happened, that Durvasa Muni came to Duryodhan, and Duryodhan have welcomed Durvasa Muni and pleased him with his service. But then Duryodhan requested Durvasa Muni, because he wanted, he said that you go to my brother, they are in uh, forest, and try to give them blessing. Actually, in a way, he was trying to say, because what happened, uh, Draupadi got a Akshay Patra. So from that Akshay Patra, when everybody eats and Draupadi eats, then there is nothing left for the day till next day. So then Duryodhan knew all these things about this history. So he said that, and he instructed especially Durvasa Muni, that when you go there, make sure you go after they take lunch. Means after they take lunch, all this, but is then you go there. So because his intention was that Durvasa Muni get angry on Pandavas and curse them. That was the whole idea, right? So Durvasa Muni accepted Duryodhana's proposal. He went there after the lunch, like he mentioned. By that time, everybody has eaten, and the Akshay Patra is also now not in a position to produce any more grain, any more thing. So then Draupadi remembered Krishna. He was praying Krishna, oh Govinda, hey Govinda, like that. Just like he was also calling Govinda when she was disrobed in the assembly of Mahabharata there. So at that time, Krishna came immediately. Knowing the devotees need, Krishna appears anytime, anywhere. So Krishna came, and then what did he say? He said, Draupadi's another name is Krishna also. He said, Krishna, I'm hungry. Please give me some food. Now he said, how can I give you food? I mean, it's everything is over, and then there's nothing. No, Krishna requested, no, bring that pot anyway. Just bring that pot. So bring the Akshay Patra, the pot, and there was a leaf sticking out, in a corner. And when Krishna ate it, so meanwhile, what happened is, when Durvasa Muni came, then he said that I'm going for a bath in this river. By the time you make preparation, and then call me and we will come. So they went there, and meanwhile, this happened that Krishna came, and then when he ate this thing, uh, like when Krishna is satisfied, the whole world will satisfied. So these Durasa Muni and all other sages, that his disciples were there, they are completely full. They will not be able to take anything. So they thought that in a fear of that when they will come and Bhim will come and request us to go there, and we will not be able to eat anything. So better we leave this place from here. Like that. So, in other words, this is a time of emergency, and in that emergency, Krishna came and saved these Pandavas there. That is one instance. The other thing we can say that offering of leaf is not limited to tulsi uh, or spinach or anything like that. Metaphorically, we can see that in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 1, Urdhvam Moolam Adha Sakha. So over there, the in that verse, comparison is given. Material manifestation is like a tree, and the Vedic scripture is like a leaves. So that leaves. So if you means you read Srimad Bhagavatam, or you give this Vedic knowledge to someone else, that also Lord accept it as an offering to him. That is what another meaning of the patra. Now we take the example of puspam, which is flower. So flower is very famous example of Gajendra Moksha. If you have heard that in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. One time Gajendra came to take bath in a lake over there with his family members, wife and children, everybody. At that time, he was caught by an alligator. you know so what happened then he remembered Krishna. And why he did that thing? Because elephant in his previous life was King Indradyumna. So he remembered the prayer. So then even he was an elephant. Now elephant has not much strength in the water. Alligator is a aquatic creature. Is a lot of, so he could not fight with alligator there. Otherwise elephant is actually strong. But then because of that he was in a position in such a way that he was going to lose his life. So he remembered Lord Krishna. Okay. And when then he took a flower from that lake and then offered it to Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna came and saved him from this alligator. So that is how the pushpa offered by elephant, the Gajendra, is helping him in that way. And it is an offering to Lord Krishna. And the second example is like the scripture give us so much metaphorical situation here. There are some 8 metaphorical puspa. We call it as a virtues actually, but in metaphorical language they are like puspa or flower. What are they? One of them is non-violence, sense control, compassion, tolerance, transcendental knowledge, austerity, contemplative meditation, truth. These are the 8 virtues that one need to develop. And metaphorically, they are compared with pushpa, fruit. So, in our spiritual lives, like whenever we endeavor to develop one or more of this quality, that Krishna likes it and he accepts it as like a flower offering to him, in that case. Now, the other thing is about phalam. Phalam means fruit, right? So there are also, I'm sure some of them you know already. One famous example in Ramayana, right? You remember that? It's like there is a Ramchandra um, came to Sabri's house. And what did Sabri offer? Berry, right? And that berry tasted by her. You know, she offered to Lord Ramchandra, and Ramchandra was happy. So that is that. And then one example from the Mahabharata is about Vidura. Vidur is what happened one time when everything is over. Their exile Pandavas, they came back. They were claiming their share of kingdom, but Duryodhana was not ready to give up. So finally, Krishna went for a peace messenger, like a Santidut ban ke wo gaya. Peace messenger, as a peace messenger, he went there, Duryodhana. So then he made a proposal, but Duryodhana said that I will not give anything. Even Krishna requested 5 villages because they are 5 Pandavas. They are Kshatriyas. They need to rule. That is their dharma. So give them at least 5 villages. So they on which they can sustain. So Lord, Duryodhana said that even the point of needle, if that much land he will not is given to ready. So what to speak about 5 villages. So then after all this thing, Duryodhan made so much arrangement for Krishna that he can take him for a prasadam, like so many items he made. But then Krishna did not go. He said that uh, I cannot take, prasadam at your place. So at that time, he went to Vidura's house, and Vidurani, his wife, was so ecstatic in serving Lord. So what she was doing actually, she was giving uh, like banana, and she throwing away the actual banana and giving banana peel to Lord. But even then, Lord has accepted it. So meanwhile, Vidur came and say, "Oh, what is going on here?" So all these things. So we can understand that Lord can accept anything if you have a devotion ingredient in it. That is very much important. Without devotion, our Lord may not accept your offering. Then the other example is about the Lord states that um, one should offer fruits of his activity. What is fruits of activities? In other words, when we work, we get some kind of in form of money or anything. So if we engage that thing, whatever fruits we getting from our karmic action, if we offer to that, then that is also a fruitful. He will accept it like that. And another thing is that when we seriously study Srimad Bhagavatam, why Srimad Bhagavatam when we seriously study? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is ripened fruit. It is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. There is a verse where it says as Nigama kalpataro galitam phalam sukamukhadamruta drava sanyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rusika bhuvi bhavukaha. So Nigam is Ved, Nigama kalpataru, Ved. So the Ved is like a desired tree. And the ripened fruit of Vedic literature, when we study it and when we give it to others, that is also like offering fruit to Lord Krishna, and he will be pleased with that thing. Then another thing is making any contribution for Krishna's cause is also accepted as a fruits to the Lord. So this is how patram puspam phalam. Now the last item is like toyam. Toyam means water, right? Now how he will be satisfied if someone offers water? So there is a one poor family description gave in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Sruta Deva and his wife, they were very very poor. They cannot even feed. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. So what they did is that they washed the feet of the Lord with water. That is all they did. But he accepted, uh, you know, uh, and in turn, he blessed them. Then another point is like Lord wants everyone to purify the heart completely. Now, how one can purify the heart completely? Okay, so it says that when someone will shed tears on hearing the holy name, the pastime of the Lord. Then at the so I mean the real devotee, they can shed tears. Now, like Narottam Das Thakur have a very nice bhajan. In that reference, we can say that Gauranga bolite habe pulak sarira Hari Hari bolite nayane bahve neera আর কবে নিতাই চাঁদের করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোরে কব তুচ্ছ হবে. So this is the thing. Nayane, the meaning of this thing, Gauranga bolite kabe, mean by telling the Lord Gauranga's name, Krishna's name, when there will be a tear in your eyes, so that tear in your eyes means you are totally in love with Krishna, and by hearing the holy name and the qualities of the Lord, the Lord happily accept those tears offering to him. So that is also offering a vow. But on the contrary, on the other hand, okay, conditional life. What is happen in our conditional life? In our conditioned life, due to our envious nature, we also cry sometime, because of we are conditioned and we are envious of what? Other people of prosperity. Why I cannot have these things, and we cry that also. So Lord says that, okay, if you reduce that crying, that is also an offering to me. In other words, if you give up your jealousy, so that is, so indirect meaning is like so much metaphorical situation here that we need to understand that by reducing those tears means you are making Lord Krishna very, very happy. He accept that very. So what we can say from all that what I have described is, as a conclusive part, the process of devotional service is so wonderfully designed by the Lord and the great Acharya that when we execute the different activities of devotional service sincerely, we'll attain the stage where our entire life becomes an offering to the Supreme Lord. The pure devotees and the spiritual master are living examples for the life of such offering. We can say so many devotees have sacrificed their life to Prabhupada, so, and in turn, they are all giving benefit to us. So, this is like a mercy of the Lord, and this is how the meaning of this verse, today's verse is the Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakti Uparhatam Asnami Prayatmanaha. So, for the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So the devotional service is so powerful. Bhakti is so powerful. Like I mentioned earlier also, it is the bhakti of the bhakta that causes the Bhagwan to give us blessing, So this is, and by he just accept their offering as an excuse to give us a blessing, So this is the glory of devotional service, because devotional service, bhakti, there is nothing else. Everything is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, but at the end, Lord Krishna stating in 18th chapter, two verses very, very important, where it says that man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Right. This is the actually the last instruction, you can say. Last instruction regarding devotional service, where it says man mana bhava means engage your mind into me. Mad bhakto means become my devotee. Madhyaji worship me, and then pay obeisances to me. So man mana mad bhakto madhyaji namaskuru. By doing that, you will come to me, he says that. And what mood you should have, then he says in the verse that 1866, very famous verse, most of you know probably, where it says that what is sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam saranam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moks ishyami ma suchaha. So here we can say that Sarvadharma Parijna. Man, at the end, Lord Krishna is telling that whatever I say in this Bhagavad Gita, there are so many dharmas, upadharmas there karma kanda is there, karma yoga is there, dhyan yoga is there, heart yoga is there, gyan yoga is there, bhakti yoga is there. So many yogas are there, you know. So finally you accept bhakti yoga, but then with surrender, Sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam saranam vraja. You just only take my shelter. And by that, what will do? What will happen? Sarva pape bhyumokshishya means I will eradicate the effect of all your sinful activities. Mahasucha indicates do not worry. So that much guarantee he gives that if you surrender to Krishna. Now, surrendering is not so easy also. What it takes to take surrendering means, that is the biggest problem in the Kali Yuga that we have. We don't want to surrender to anybody. But here Krishna requires that without surrendering, nothing will happen. And there are 6 characteristics of surrendering is also described in this Shastra. Rupa Goswami says that Anukulena Krishnanu Silanam Bhakti Ruttama. Anukulena Silanam Pratikulasya Varjanam Rakshasi iti Visvaso Gopatrutve Varanam Tatha Atma Nikshep Karpaniye Sadvidha Saranagati. He 6 type of Saranagati. Lakshan, characteristics he's showing. What is the first one? Anukulasya Sankalpa. Anukulasya means whatever is favorable, you accept that for Krishna's service. Okay. And Pratikulasya Varjanam means whatever is not acceptable to Krishna, you leave that. You don't take that. You don't serve with that thing. So Anukulasya Sankalpa and Pratikulasya Varjanam. We have to leave this thing which is not suitable, which is not uh, suitable for the Lord to offer. And then the third item is Rakshasi iti Visvaso. We have to have a firm faith that He will protect us. Rakshasi iti Visvaso. That faith you should have that He will protect me. And Gopatrutva Vranam Tatha means we should also consider that He is the only maintainer. He's the main, he's Bhokta. He's not only Bhokta, but he also maintain us, um, because without his, nothing will happen. His or his energy, basically, you can say that, it's not that he is present all the time there. Sometimes his expansion, sometimes his energy help us, in this life. So Gopatrutva Vranam Tatha, we have to understand that he is the maintainer of everything. So we have to have firm conviction. First of all, actually, we have a faith that there is a God. If there is, some people believe that there is no God, we cannot talk about it. There's nothing you can talk about him. If he doesn't believe in God, then okay. If he believes God, okay. The next step is he should know who God is. God has a name. God has a place. God has a, God biography is given in 10 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is all there. God's introduction is there. Long very introduction, 90 chapters. You will not. Yeah. So once you know there is a God and know the name of the God is Krishna, then you are in business. Then you have to understand that He is the maintainer. And then Atman Nikshep, it means full surrender to Krishna. And Karpaniya is humility. You have to show your humility. These are the 6 Saranagati is very important for doing devotional service to Krishna, by which we can make our way to the spiritual world. Thank you so much. I will stop here and take any questions, comments, reflections.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session. It's such a nectarian session and blissful also. Prabhuji, the way which you let us know by doing the verses on the various stages of that, and your voice is very, very good. By the way you sing those, it was very commendable. So yeah, so Prabhuji, do you have some time to take few questions that we have?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you very much. So, dear devotees, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we can unmute. Okay, Prabhuji. So start with Mihika. She
Yes.
raised hand.
Okay, Mika,
Yes,
go ahead.
Mihika.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for such a good class, and it was really nice with the thing like how you referred to different verses from different scriptures to explain the sublime nature of devotional service. So Prabhuji, when you were talking about the pastime of when Duryodhan sent Durvasa Muni to basically cursed the Pandavas. So I heard in some places that it was a grain of rice that was left, or it was like a piece of vegetable. So I didn't really like, was it like, I didn't really understand which one it was because I heard like multiple things.
Which one you said? I didn't.
They
I didn't.
were, I've heard that grain of rice was left, or like a piece of vegetable. And
Yeah,
like
so
today you said it was sweet.
somehow there is some places somebody say that there is a grain sticking out in the corner of that pot, or some says that spinach leaves. But anything, something was left there. That's the basic idea. Yeah, sometimes you may hear some grain is sticking there, or some spinach leaves is stuck in there like that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fuji.
You're welcome. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mihika. Tirith Prabhu, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, Hari Om, Jai Shri Krishna,
Jai Shri Krishna.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु, हरि लीला प्रभु जी. बहुत मैं अभी ज्वाइन किया, लेकिन in that sloka also giving reference for the few other slokas from Gita and from Bhagavatam and from our realized sense, like I forgot the which name you gave, Swami, um, was Thakur or something. But my point is, your explanation on Gita is very nice, and I would like to join every Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30. But the problem Saturday is with me, so that is my problem. But I will try to join. Hari Leela Prabhu, you know me very well. I know you very well, and I can see one of my colleague Rekha Patel. Hari Om. Hari Om Prabhu. All of you, Hari Om. Thank
Hare
you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hari
Thank you,
Bol.
Thank
Prabhu. Anyone else has any question? So, Prabhu, I have a very small question.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens, Prabhu, that we bargain to Krishna that if you give me, if you fulfill my this desire for me, I will offer you something in return or something like that. And we do this very often. So, how we can avoid this tendency? Because sometimes I heard that he is our father, we can ask anything to him, but we are not asking, we are just bargaining that please give it to me or please fulfill this desire and I will serve you with this fruit, vegetable, or whatever is the case, bro. So how we avoid this tendency, bro?
Yes, Prabhuji. Very, very nice question. And there is a gradation in doing devotional service, because sometimes neophyte devotee or very beginning level, and another thing you mentioned about Krishna being a father. So there is nothing wrong asking from a father, just like we ask from father. So even with a bargaining issue, that you give me this, so I'll give you that. To do that with Krishna is not a problem at all, but with demigod, it is not good. But with Krishna, you can do that, and that is like it's your stages of devotion, or the gradation, like where you at in your devotional service. So beginning, yes, you can ask Krishna that please do this thing, do this thing, rather than going to demigod and asking this thing, because ultimately it comes from him anyway. And again, what we get from demigod is like a temporary, and also it is limited amount. So while Krishna is the supreme father, he is the father of every living entity, as he mentioned, Mamaivasa Jivaloka Jivabhuta Sanatana life. So there is nothing wrong in asking from Krishna himself at all in a beginning stage. But like you said, your question is about how we eliminate that kind of tendency that we have.
Correct. Correct.
Yes. So to answer that question is that we have to be in association with the people who follow that thing, who do not have that attitude. So then, in because sangat sanjayate kama.
Common.
Yeah. So with that, so you have to associate with the people. It's just when you are with a drunkard people, you will learn how to drink, like that. So
Mm.
this is something like that. This attitude you can have by staying in the company of the people who do not have that.
Right. Right. Okay. So, Prabhu, in continuation of this, sometimes it also happens that if our desire doesn't fulfill, or if you get that not that benefited, then we often curse or often discouraged and say that Bhagwan hamari sunta nahi hai, something like that. So means that is also like a continuation of that thing only. That how to avoid that kind of behavior, that we started like discouraging and that blaming God, that God is not doing good for us and we are not good and all that stuff, Prabhu.
Yes, that is also nice question. In a way that Rupa Goswami answers in his Nectar of Instruction, Utsahat Nishayat Dhairya, right? So the third Dhairya means patience is required.
Patience.
In
Mhm.
any endeavor, you may have an enthusiasm to do certain thing. So Utsahat Nishayat, with determination and enthusiasm is required in performing any activity. But at the same time, if you are too eager to get result, that may not happen. So that's
Mm.
why patience is required. You have
Patience.
to have a patience to, because sometimes Prabhupada used to give an example, very material example, sort of that he says that a newly married girl, then if he wants the child next day, how that will happen. So that is not
Yes.
often giving that example.
Yes.
So Prabhupada says that no, you have your husband, you serve him devotedly, and then when the time come, it will happen. It's like that.
Right. And I think, Prabhu, along with patience, that we have to trust God also, that whatever is good for me, it will happen naturally then,
Exactly. Another thing, we have also to be qualified for that.
qualified for that. Right.
Without our qualification, he may not give anything. Unless you become qualified, you will not get anything. Even in material degree also, if you are not qualified, you will not given a diploma. So
Correct.
that
Correct.
qualification prerequisite is required. Without
Right.
qualification, yeah, we have to have, just like they say in a Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana, Santa Salagadesh Vilo. So you cannot see the God because you're not qualified. You
Qualified.
have, yeah, your eye has to be, is Premanjan. It's not like a Kajalanjan.
Mm.
When you apply Premanjan to your eyes, then you will be able to see Krishna. Prabhupada used to say that you don't see God because you have a cataract. I have to remove that. You come to
Mm.
me, I will remove it. Then you can be able to see the God.
Right.
So, what it means is we have to be qualified to see God. We are unnecessarily asking that, well, I want to see God, show me God, that is very easy question. So, Prabhupada
Right.
used to say, yeah, I can show you God, but you have to be qualified.
Qualified. Thank you, Anush Prabhuji. Thank you for wonderful answer. Dear devotees, anybody has any other question, or shall we wrap up the class?
Yes, Prabhupada. Oh,
Uh, I
there is,
think Sugar Prabhu has a question.
yeah, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very nice to hear the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Very grateful to you for sharing a very beautiful words, um, which is very commonly heard, but not so commonly taken as a very important shloka, as you have explained. And I really like the points you mentioned about the metaphor for each offering,
Mm.
and how in each offering we can actually metaphorically offer to the Lord with our heart, and how Lord accepts that. Very beautiful explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for sharing. And
Thank you.
Prabhuji, actually, one question I have about becoming sincere in devotional service. You mentioned on that part. If you can please help how to become sincere practitioner.
Yeah. So this is probably the same answer about association. You have to associate with the people who are sincere, because that the people have basically we go to the people who have that thing. So in order to become us sincere, we have to find a circle of sincere people, sincere devotees, our like higher ups or senior than us, and those who are very sincere. So if we stay in touch with them, then we will develop sincerity also. The thing is, the time management is the main question, in becoming sincerity, because everybody have 24 hours a day, not more than a minute less or so, but you have to prioritize. One has to prioritize that scheduling and do it accordingly. And again, those who have those who are successful in this matter, we have to take their shelter, we have to take their association. And even Prabhupada giving one more item, that even then, if we associate with them, but association is not like bodily association, the hello, how are you, it's not like that. Association means you inquire from them confidentially, right? So Prabhuji, how can I develop this kind of thing, so with that, you will be able to understand, slowly and steadily, how sincerity can be developed in ourselves. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Prabhu. Rekha Mataji, I saw you unmuted some time ago. So do you have any question? No. Okay, Mataji. So Prabhu, if you like, you are okay, shall we wind up the call?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Vansha kalpavishya kapa sindhu bhaив jay patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. His Grace Harila Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.